We now move to the right to reply, the honourable member for Mississauga, Erin Mills.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we can either let our differences of race, creed, religion that speak of discrimination or hatred, exclusion, and suspicion divide us as Canadians, or we can work with our differences to make us stronger, to help us progress as a multicultural, secular, strong nation. The choice is ours. I'm honored to rise today to conclude the debate in Parliament on Motion 103. M103 has indeed forced us to re-evaluate our social contract with each other as Canadians. We have had passionate and somewhat uncomfortable discussions about what rights our charter grants us. Where does one person's right end and another's begin? This Liberal government is the party of the charter, and I am honored to stand in this place to defend the rights of all Canadians. I would like to thank my colleagues in this House, those that seconded the motion, those that stood by me when we faced the very issue that this motion tries to tackle. I'd like to thank our Prime Minister, whose leadership is a beacon of hope, and our Minister of Canadian Heritage, who has tirelessly worked to build bridges amongst Canadians. I'd like to thank the many civil society and grassroots organizations that stepped up to address the issue of racism and discrimination. NCCM, Soleil Congregation, Meadows Church, Erin Mills United Church, Student Christian Movement, Christian Peacemakers Teams, ISNA Canada, Islamic Shia Ithna Jamaat, Montreal City Mission, Muslim Neighbor Nexus, ICNA Sisters, Mississauga Tamil Association, Centre for Social Innovation, FCM, and so many more. I'd like to especially thank my family and friends for their unwavering support. Naming a few, Ali Qamar, Sam Forrest, Hashim Tanvir, Kesser Dar, Faisal Javed, Rima Zuberi, Irfan Siddiqui, Linda Castleman, my parents and my siblings. I'd like to thank community activists for their efforts in raising awareness. Asif, Aman, Fasi, Tahir, Justin, Shahzad, Irfan, Jeff, Nadine, Rizwan, Rashdi, Ann, Shafqat, Farina Siddiqui, Cassandra, Hussein Hamdani, Joe, Graham, Awais, Eva, Hifza, Isam, Karen, Muhammad Hussein, Kashif Hassan, Ihsan, Osama Zaid, Walid, Amira, Asma, Mo, Ashfaq, Muazzam, Badr, Dominic, Mike, Noman, Jiwan, Rob, and so many more. Thank you to Imran Mia and Omar Raza, whose leadership and effort in the community has been tireless. Thank you, Mayor of Mississauga, Bonnie Crombie, and members of Council for owning this issue and your resolution to support M103. Lastly, thank you to my staff, Anas, Lana, Sana, and Suki, for your hard work and dedication. Mr. Speaker, it's only fitting to mention that today marks the International Day for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination. M103 is simply another tiny step in this major challenge. It is a continuation effort to reiterate that diversity, inclusion, and acceptance are all strengths in our Canada. In concluding the debate, I find it fitting to address some misconceptions surrounding the motion and to clarify on the record what M103 is and what it is not. Firstly, M103 does not give one religion or community special privilege over another. In fact, it is an attempt to study all forms of systemic racism and religious discrimination in Canada. Similar motions have been passed in this House, highlighting many issues and many communities. Secondly, M103 will not restrict free speech. This motion is not legally binding. In fact, M103 serves as a catalyst for Canadians to speak out against discrimination and be heard where they may not have been heard before. Some other outrageous claims were made about M103, and to that, in simple and clear words, M103 is not an attempt to create Sharia law. I vow to be the first person to oppose any motion or law that negatively impacts our multicultural, secular society. I assure you, M103 does not. In conclusion, I would like to thank everyone, the supporters and the critics, for inspiring me and holding me to account. I'm humbled and grateful. Mr. Speaker, I'm looking forward to the vote, to the study, and to the support of everyone in this chamber of democracy. Thank you.
Amazing.